Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Utopia Show. And I am your host, Faria. And so today we're going to we're going to discuss this topic called gratitude. Now, if you're new here, new to my podcast, let me tell you this space, the Utopia Show, it's like a space where we slow down, reflect, and we try to live with just a little more intention. And then today we are also going to talk about something really small, something really special, yet small, okay? And it's something that's quite revolutionary, and that's gratitude. Yes, you've heard it right. And you've heard the word 1,000 times. It's on mugs, it's on like daily Instagram captions or like quotes, hashtag show gratitude, journals, even in marketing emails or advertisement or any of those Pinteresty quotes. But do you even know what it is or why it sort of matters or how to make it more than just a feeling that flickers once in a while? Now let's just break it down into what is gratitude, why is gratitude important, and how you could possibly show gratitude. Now we're gonna start off with the basics, right? What is gratitude? Now, um, gratitude isn't just saying thank you. It isn't performative politeness. It isn't a passive feeling reserved for perfect days or big wins. Gratitude is a mindset, a way of seeing, a way of living. It's the choice to notice, and I really mean notice, the good that's already present. It could be something huge like surviving a hard time, or something tiny like the way you know, the sun hits your window just right in the morning. And psychologists define gratitude as a positive emotional response that we perceive on giving or receiving a benefit. But spiritual traditions have gone even further, calling it a sacred act, kind of wisdom, a way to align ourselves with what truly matters. And at its core, gratitude is not just about what happens to us, but how we choose to see what happens. It's the pause, inhale, the look around. It's the voice in our mind that says, wait, this moment, this little thing, it matters. Well, gratitude doesn't mean ignoring pain. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. But it does mean that even in the midst of chaos, we look for what remains, what still breathes, what still lights up the edges of our day. And gratitude, it's not something that you show just because someone has just helped you today, but it's also about noticing the small acts of the people around you, the people who help you in a day-to-day basis. If they teach, if they teach, obviously they teach every day, but saying thank you after the class ends is also a really good way of showing that you're grateful for your grade. And if your friend who possibly helps you in studying studying a subject or something sort of like that, a thank you is something that they do deserve, and it's something that shows that you're also aware of your surrounding. Gratitude shows that you're aware of your environment, of the people who are around you, and in that sense, gratitude isn't just a reaction or like you're just saying it for the sake of it. No, it's like a gentle rebellion against numbness, entitlement, and the myth that we're like always lacking. Now, why gratitude matters. So that's the what, right? But we've discussed the what gratitude is, what it is all about, right? But why does it matter? Why does showing gratitude really matters in day-to-day life? And like, why should we even care about it? There are times where you might think of have questions like this, right? Why should you think about gratitude? What is so important about it? So well, let me give you three reasons. One scientific, one psychological, and one which is like deeply human, right? First, science part. Research in Positive psychology has found again and again that people who practice gratitude consistently experience better physical health, stronger immunity, lower blood pressure, and even better sleep. Well, yeah, better sleep. That blew my mind too. Gratitude activates areas in the brain associated with dopamine and serotonin, are feel good chemicals. And that's just not cute, it's like real. It means your body actually responds to your thankfulness like a gift. And the second one, which is the psychology of showing why psychology of why gratitude matters. Now, gratitude interrupts negative thinking. It reframes our inner dialogue. Let's just be honest. We all live with some version of a critic in our heads. That voice that says we're not doing enough, that we're behind, that someone else is living a better version of our life. Now, gratitude softens that voice. It doesn't silence it necessarily, but reminds us that there is beauty here, even if it's imperfect, that our lives are made up of more than just goals and check boxes. And, you know, it's important to realize that. And finally, the human reason. Gratitude, it deepens the relationships. You know, when we acknowledge others, when we look someone in the eye and say you matter, what you did really mattered, and I'm super grateful for that. We're doing something sacred, something that really makes the other person feel good, as well as also makes you feel super blessed. Inside deep down, you also do feel good about it. Now we're affirming the presence of the other people. We are accepting, acknowledging the fact that the other person's help and the other person's presence has really mattered to us. Now we are saying, I see you. Whatever you did really mattered to me. So, honestly, in a world where everyone's moving fast, the kind of seeing it heals, it connects, it makes us feel less alone. So, yeah, gratitude isn't just like a soft little feeling, it's a survival skill. You make the other person feel that they matter to you, they are there for you. And moreover, you're not just like saying it for the sake of it, you're saying it because even because it's an emotional response that your body is trying to show, right? And it's important, it is really important about it. Now, in this world, everyone is busy with their own life. Everyone is hustling and doing their job. But at times, it's not something that, it's not something everyone's moving, right? And when you thank someone for what they're doing, it makes them feel better. It makes them feel less alone. And not just less alone, it connects them to the environment. It also makes you aware of the presence of people around you. So I think in a way, showing gratitude is, it's not a mood, it's like a muscle thing. It doesn't always show up naturally. Some days you have got to reach for it, some days it like feels out of place, and some days it hurts to find. But like any muscle, the more we practice it, even in tiny reps, the stronger it gets, the more available it becomes, right? And it's okay if gratitude feels awkward at first or forced or like a bit hollow. That's not failure, that's beginning. You're trying to show gratitude to people, and that's what truly matters. Now, let's also pause for a minute and clear off these things because I think some people misunderstand gratitude. So, let us like bust a few myths, right? So, myth number one, gratitude means pretending things are fine. Well, no, gratitude isn't about lying to yourself. It's not about ignoring pain. You can grieve and still be grateful. You can be angry and still find beauty. You can hold both. Okay? You do not have to pretend thing. It's an emotional response that should come out of yourself automatically because you care about the people around you, the people who help you, on a daily basis. So gratitude means pretending things are fine is like the biggest myth that you're gonna ever hear. It's not about pretending. You are not supposed to pretend. You're not supposed to lie to yourself. Now, coming up to the next myth. Myth number two. You can only be grateful for the good. Well, see, some of the most powerful gratitude I've ever felt has come from my hardest moments when I realized I had support or resilience or growth. Sometimes we're grateful for not for what happened, but for what we actually learned from it. And it's something so um, beautiful about that feeling. To learn something from your mistakes, right? It's also similar, so it's just indirectly means that you're showing gratitude, and that's what really matters. You don't have to be grateful only for if something good happens to you or to others. In your case, it's important that you learn from the mistakes, and on top of that, you also help people. You help people. You should help people when they are also going through some hard moment in their life. So yeah, third myth. Coming to the third myth, which is gratitude is just for spiritual people. Well, again, not true. Gratitude is for everyone. It's not a religion or a ritual. It's a way of connecting to the present moment, or remembering that this life, even with its mess, still has gifts, right? Now, now let's have a moment of an interactive session, shall we? Now let's say if you're in a space where you can pause for 60 seconds, right? I want you to try something with me. Take a deep breath and think of just like one thing that you're grateful for today. It could be a person who made you feel seen, a moment of laughter, something in nature, a song, a lesson you learned, even if it was painful. The fact that you're still here, still trying. Close your eyes for a moment if that feels safe and say thank you in your mind. Let that gratitude land in your body. You don't need to post it or share it, just feel it. That, like right there, it is the beginning of transformation, right? Now, how can you practice gratitude, right? We've defined it, we've understood why gratitude is important, and now here's the golden question. How do we actually practice it? How do we actually practice gratitude? And how do we make gratitude a habit, not just like a holiday? Let me walk you through some powerful ways. Number one, the three things journal. This is a classic thing. Every night or morning, write down three things you're grateful for. Not grand things, not like anything big. Small things. Let's just say I drank a warm cup of red chai, or like red tea. I mean, a text from an old friend, or maybe a breath of fresh air, or maybe walking in the nature for some time, or like observing the birds around you. So the key here is consistency, not perfection. You're training your brain to scan for joy. And second is say it out loud. We often feel gratitude, but we forget to express it. Make it a practice to tell one person a day what you appreciate about them. It could be a friend, your best friend, so a parent, a colleague, even a stranger, right? Now, you'd be amazed about what those words can do, not just for them, but for you. Number three is gratitude walks. This one's simple. Go for a walk and look for things to be grateful for. The sky, a flower, a child's laughter, your own legs carrying you forward. Speak them softly to yourself. You begin to notice how much life is offering constantly to you. And that just makes you feel super, super blessed deep inside. Number four, reframe hard moments. This one's a bit advanced, so when something goes wrong, Ask yourself, is there anything in this I can still be grateful for? It's not about toxic positivity, it's about resilience and finding even a glimmer of light in the dark. Maybe the job you didn't get made space for something better. Maybe the heartbreak brought you closer to yourself. Sometimes gratitude is retroactive, sometimes it comes later, and that's okay, right? Number five is, well, ritualize it. Connect gratitude to an existing habit. Maybe you can say three things that you're grateful for when you are, let's say, right before your dinner, or maybe when your head hits the pillow, right? Ritual sticks and make it a ritual stick and make it yours, okay? Now, apart from that, what happens when we live with gratitude, right? When you have just made, we've discussed about what, why, how, about gratitude. I just want to add in a few more points about what gratitude, or like what happens when we live with gratitude, right? Now, when you make gratitude a regular practice, something amazing happens. You just stop waiting for big dramatic things to bring you joy in life. You're not just waiting for those big wins, or like, that big one moment of your life. You could just be grateful for the small little wins that you have today. You got today. Like, for instance, you went for a run today early in the morning. That's also like a small win for you. Even though it's a small win, it's still a win for you, and it should be. It should bring joy to you that you're at least able to do something that sort of helps you in the longer run, and it's something to be really, really grateful for. You begin to find joy in what's already here, right? The warmth of the sunlight through the window, the sound of your friend's voice, the fact that your heart is beating right now without you needing to do anything is also something to be grateful for. Gratitude makes you more alive to your own life. You begin to move slower, love deeper, listen more closely. You start seeing people, not just roles, moments, not just tasks. And honestly, that's what we are here for, to live, not just like exist, right? And well, gratitude, it's about more of an emotional access to people, okay? Gratitude isn't just, as I've said, it's not a performative thing. You do not have to pretend. You're not supposed to lie to yourself or to the people around you. You have to be honest. And it's more, gratitude is an emotional response to the things around you, to the people around you, to the things that people usually do for you. And gratitude, it makes you feel more alive to your own life. You feel more aware of what is happening around you. The moment you start practicing slowly, one at a time, so you go small, start small, as I say, you will realize how different, how beautiful life slowly becomes. It's not something that you are supposed to worry about. It's not something you're supposed to pretend. And it it is slowly, when you start practicing it, it will naturally come to you. And as we have done that interactive session, right, where you go to a space, where you go to an area where you pause for 60 seconds and like breathe in and then think of things that you know that you're sort of grateful for today. And so that is also a really transformative exercise, which I think everyone should do, just so that you get started in this journey of showing gratitude to people. And gratitude is also another form of kindness. Kindness and gratitude, I mean, they're almost the same thing in a way. Showing gratitude is another form of showing the world that you're actually a kind person. But it's not something to show, it's not something to pretend, as I said. It's something that it's more like an emotional response. Kindness is also an emotional response. It's a response that you want to do good to people around you, you want to be good to people. It's more about being aware of yourself. It's more about being that, oh, I need to help them out. I know they need my help, so I am going to go out up to them and tell them if they, ask them if they need help from me. So, you know, as we begin to wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with one final invitation. Okay. Start a gratitude ritual that feels like you. Not what a book says, not what Instagram says. Maybe it's whispering thanks before bed, sending a grateful text to your family members or to your friends or classmates, right? Writing one line in a notebook, writing, taking a picture every day of something beautiful, praying if that's part of your life, or simply just pausing and noticing in the middle of a noisy, imperfect day. Let it be small, let it be sacred, let it be yours. Because this life, this messy, ordinary, breathtaking life, is just too precious to erase it through. You don't want to keep on hustling throughout your entire life. You also need to like live through your life properly, not just exist. And so gratitude slows us down enough to actually live it. So thank you so much for just being here. I'm super grateful for that too. And you guys could follow me on my Instagram, which is at Farias Utopia, and also I also I'm super grateful for whoever is listening to this episode. I also hope you guys have a wonderful day ahead. And so thank you so much.